What's good, everybody? It's me, Weeb here with part 3 for What If Naruto Had Nen. I know you guys have been waiting on this for a while, so I hope you guys are ready. If you are excited, then make sure to hit the like button, comment down below what you thought of the episode, and subscribe to the channel for more. We are on our way to 6,000 subscribers, thanks to you guys. So anyway, let's just get right into this part.
Hello? We got the room. Okay, listen carefully. Not all is as it seems. I don't have much time, but we failed. The infinite Tsukiyomi succeeded. Don't fall for these false timelines. I'll try to tell you more soon. Stay safe.
As Naruto walks into the building, he can sense that something's off, as the nen that's surrounding the entire second floor is being altered. He realizes that this must be the effect of some sort of genjutsu being used by chakra. As Naruto climbs the stairs with Sasuke and Sakura alongside him, he'd inevitably see 3 other people from a different team, probably Genin, who are also there to take the Chunin exams. One of them would have a white robe on, the other with green, and the other a girl with 2 buns on the side of her head. Come on, Lee and Tenten, we gotta get going. As the two would then walk into the room itself, Lee would turn around as he eyes Naruto, as well as Sasuke. He would want to challenge Sasuke as he looks back, telling them that he's going to fight them as he gets pulled into the room by what we know as Neji. Naruto would then walk up next as he realizes this is a genjutsu. He would tell Sasuke and ask if he could cancel out the genjutsu, if that'd be alright, as Naruto can't really do that, because he uses nen, not chakra. Sasuke would sigh and say he's such a loser, as he then deactivates the genjutsu so Naruto can access the room along with him and Sakura. As they get in, Lee would laugh as he tells him that he's been waiting, and that it took them long enough. He challenges Sasuke Uchiha to a fight, and I challenge you in a test of strength to see who the stronger shinobi is. As Lee says this, suddenly Naruto punches Lee in the head, as Lee falls backwards, basically knocked out. Naruto says, "There, we win, let's get going." As Naruto laughs as he then is chased after by Sasuke, saying that was his fight. Lee would sit up and say that guy has one heck of a punch, not realizing that Naruto had enhanced his fist with nen. As Naruto gets into this area itself, he would then look around to see that there are many other Genin there, with Lee coming in from behind with Guy Sensei having pushed him into the room. Sasuke and Lee's fight wouldn't have happened, as you already have seen. However, Kabuto gets pushed over by another Genin, and this is when Naruto can't stand for. "Hey, leave him alone," Naruto would say, as Kabuto's getting pushed around by these other Genin. They'd ask what a pint-sized brat like him's gonna do, when Naruto looks up at them as he charges nen into his fists. Naruto would punch the side of the wall, as the entire wall cracks as it begins to fall over. "Well, I could do that, but I probably would get disqualified." Naruto would smile, with his fox whiskers going further up his face. Kabuto would be in shock at his physical strength, almost looking similar to that of what he's heard about the Lady Tsunade. Naruto would look down and ask Kabuto if he's okay. Kabuto would nod and say he's actually fine, and he takes Naruto's hand as he helps him up. Kabuto would ask what his name is, him of course already knowing, and he would tell him that his name's Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki, huh? Kabuto would think as he thinks that this kid's definitely part of the Uzumaki clan. He would turn around and then see Sasuke Uchiha, the target. He would say goodbye to them as Kabuto says he has some stuff he needs to do to prepare for the Chunin exams. He tells them good luck and to do their best. As they now take a seat waiting, Naruto had done that proclamation before where he says that he's going to take all of them down and claim the title of Chunin. Naruto has already basically antagonized Team 7, with Sasuke facepalming. As they get into the examination room itself, this is when Naruto realizes it might not be as easy as he thought it would be. This first test would be an intellectual one. Naruto is already worried. As the papers are passed out and he looks down with dread, he has the same situation he has in the original, where he doesn't know if he can actually beat this, if there's any way he can get past this examination. Hinata would offer Naruto to look at her paper, but Naruto would decline just like he did before. As Naruto stares down his empty blank sheet, Sasuke as well as Gaara and the rest would figure out what this examination is really about, as everyone cheats off the certain people who know what the answers are, while Naruto just waits till the end, as Naruto fills in the very last question, and passes barely. As Naruto is the only one to raise his hand at the very end, Team 7's worried before Naruto slams it down and says he's not going to give up no matter what. As the rest of the Genin, who had left already, would look back at Naruto as they leave the building. Naruto would then look at the rest of the teams who have survived, Team 7 including. As they finally leave, Anko takes them, as she says that this next test won't be something wussy like a little paper exam. Now Naruto's getting a little more excited, as Naruto says he's ready for anything, as long as it's not something to do with paper or having to do math. Anyway, as Naruto gets to the Forest of Death, we then see that the instructor for the first test would look down at the papers when he sees Naruto was the only one who had none of the answers filled out, impressed that he had the resolve to actually say that and still get through it. Naruto, that kid is one weird shinobi. As Naruto and Team 7 finally make it to the Forest of Death, they would then begin to have the explanation told to them about the scrolls and what they'd be doing for this test. As Anko passes the scrolls out, a similar situation occurs where Anko and Orochimaru and Naruto have that small interaction that they had. As Naruto now has a scroll, thinking that was weird, the team would then enter into the Forest of Death itself. Alright, Sasuke, let's do this. I think I should be the one to hold onto the scroll, naturally, as I am the strongest after. Naruto would say this jokingly when Sasuke grabs the scroll from him, telling him that that's a dumb idea. Naruto would look down in sadness as he tells Sasuke he was just kidding. Sasuke would sigh and tell him he's such a loser, when Naruto would get a little angry. Sakura would calm the two of them down. She says they gotta keep moving forward. The three of them would then head deeper into the forest, and as they're traveling along, Naruto would decide he has to go to the bathroom. As Naruto goes to take the bathroom break, he would use Gyo to scan around to make sure no one was watching him. As he uses Gyo, he suddenly sees someone about to jump him, and he quickly turns around and takes them instead, with them being surprised. Naruto would come back after a few minutes, saying that he's done his job, as well as he found the scroll just sitting there. Naruto would then smile, as Sasuke tells him he better not be joking. Realizing that it's actually the scroll they need, they would take it as they continue heading into the forest itself. Once they are a few kilometers further in, they begin to see the tower, though it's several hundred feet away. Almost out of nowhere, a pressure covers all three of them, as the three Genin feel an immense fear, something Naruto's never felt before. He feels like his entire body is crushed into the ground with a weight heavier than even he could carry. Sasuke, do you feel that? Naruto would say, as his voice begins to stutter. Yeah, I feel that bloodlust all right. Sasuke would be saying this as he's beginning to sweat. Sakura's eyes would look hollow as she's staring up as she begins to hold her finger up. Look, guys, do you see that? This is when we see the grass ninja from before. It's that shinobi from before. When me and the teacher, the instructor Anko were, Naruto would be struggling to get any words out. Sasuke would cut himself with the kunai just like the original as he pushes Naruto and Sakura out of the way of the attack. A giant snake suddenly comes and devours Naruto as he's then pulled away. Naruto, in this version, would say that as he's now snapped out of it, would say he's not going to get put over this easy, as he now powers up as he punches his way out of the snake, ripping out of its side as he then kills off the snake. As he then runs back to where his friends are, he sees Sasuke's in a fight with this grass ninja, using all these fancy acrobatic moves, as well as using the Phoenix Flower Jutsu. Sasuke, behind! Naruto would scream, as Sasuke gets down ready to springboard. As Naruto jumps onto Sasuke's back, Sasuke would push up as hard as he can, sending Naruto flying into the air. Ha! Naruto would say, as he punches down directly into the flaming body of Orochimaru. As Orochimaru takes the punch, he then realizes something interesting. Well, isn't that interesting? This man has something that I've been looking for as well. Naruto would be shocked as his Nen punch hadn't taken Orochimaru out. What? He'd be thinking, as he'd never failed with it before. Well, what's your name? Wait a minute. Aren't you that nine-tailed brat? Naruto would be shocked, as he has no idea what he's talking about, really. Damn it, he would think as he looks at Orochimaru. Orochimaru would flick Naruto away as he's pushed back. As he then summons a giant snake about to send towards Sasuke, Naruto would feel that power again like he had used against Haku. His eyes would turn red as the powerful nen would flow over him in red, becoming physically visible to the eye. He'd move forward at faster speeds than he ever had before, as he uses one hand to block the giant snake and throw it back. Naruto would then notice around him he has some sort of energy covering his entire body. What the? This is different than my power, Naruto would think. We know that Naruto is an enhancer, which means he's like Gon with his body. He can enhance his body and other things to attack. That's usually what people who are like more simple-minded use, I guess. However, Kurama, on the other hand, has his own Nen type, as tailed beasts and Jinchuriki have access to Nen. So, anyway, back to the plot. Kurama has a special Nen type, and it's beginning to form around Naruto for the first time. Kurama's special Nen ability is called Mimicry. This ability, Mimicry, that Naruto can now access, means when he's fighting an opponent that he can mimic all of their moves, as well as any techniques that they can use. So basically, if Naruto can see someone else use it, he can use it while changing it to Nen. As Orochimaru summons a snake, Naruto would change his own Nen into that snake as well as it attacks each other. Naruto would be surprised as he's never done this before. This is reminiscent to Sasuke of the powers of the Sharingan, actually. However, it's a bit different, as with Kurama's Nen type, it's not so much as literally copying a jutsu and using chakra to recreate that jutsu. It's copying by mimicking exactly what someone's doing and then transverting it to a Nen technique, which Naruto can then use. Naruto would now be battling Orochimaru on all fours as the fox-like powers covering him, making him glow orange. As Naruto growls at Orochimaru would sigh as he decides he'll have to take care of this problem now. I guess this is the Nine-Tails brat. As the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, Naruto, goes running towards Orochimaru, prepared to attack with its physical power. Now Naruto beginning to use his own qualities of an enhancer, along with Kurama's power beginning to merge. Naruto would then realize suddenly that his power is being leaked, as he looks down to see Orochimaru having pierced him with the 5-pronged seal, as he seals the kiwi back up, as all of the chakra, or Nen, that Naruto has surrounding him is also pulled back in as well. Damn it, Naruto would say, as he falls to the ground completely exhausted, him now having no Nen or energy left. Naruto! Sasuke would scream, as he rushes forward, running if he's alright. As Sasuke rushes towards Naruto, then Orochimaru would take prayer of this action, putting the curse mark onto Sasuke. He would decide to not put the curse mark on Naruto, as he thinks he's a little too unpredictable for his taste. With Naruto and Sasuke both unconscious and Orochimaru escaping, Sakura would be left with only one choice, to take both of her teammates and find somewhere to hide until they recovered. She would find that same place before, where she takes Sasuke and Naruto and allows them to recover for a bit. Suddenly 3 sound ninja would come out of nowhere, as they are looking for Sasuke. They're looking for Sasuke, she would think, as she hears a sound ninja calling for him. Sakura would stand out as she feels her knees shaking, as she decides she's gonna have to protect her teammates. As she's fighting off the sound ninja, Lee would arrive as well as he prepares to help her fight. Just as the two of them are about to be overwhelmed by the 3 sound ninja, suddenly Sasuke would awaken with his curse-marked power, as he overpowers the 3 sound ninja and puts them back into their place, breaking the one with the windpipes in his hand's arms, as well as taking the one who had been taking Sakura's hair and throwing her into a tree. He would then basically take out all 3 of them, except for the last one who escaped, just like the original, when Sakura hugs him from behind and tells him that it's enough. Sasuke would calm back down as he realizes what's going on, and tells Sakura thanks for that. Naruto would slowly wake up as well as he realizes that he has all of his Nen recovered. Phew, I got out of that one scot-free, he would think. He would then look left to see Sasuke with the curse mark still covering him. Sasuke, what happened to you? After Orochimaru defeated you, he then took me out by biting me here, and now I have this mark on my neck, he would think. He would tell Naruto that he's fine, as the curse marks now recede back to their original form. Rock Lee would leave and tell Sakura he'll always be there to help her when she needs it, and she would thank Lee as he leaves. Get it? Leaves. Anyway, Naruto and Sasuke would then continue heading towards the building where they run back into Kabuto. Kabuto, as well as them, the Team 7, would actually take out the Mist Ninja, as they then get into the building itself, making it there almost last, as Gaara's team had been the first one there. Well, if it isn't you, Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha, did your Nen power not help you enough this time? I guess you must have run into some actual trouble. What a shame. He would say as Naruto and Gaara lock eyes. Naruto with his Gyo can sense that Gaara's nen is incredible. For everyone's information, Gaara is a manipulator, which I think makes sense because he can manipulate the sand around him. But anyway, so Gaara would also have nen, as he's the One-Tails Jinchuriki, which I think I established before. Anyway, Naruto and Team 7 would arrive as Iruka-sensei welcomes them. As Iruka welcomes all the rest of the teams, the second phase of the Chunin exams would begin, as Kiba and Naruto are immediately set against each other to battle. Kiba and Naruto's fight would go quickly, as Kiba uses his Fang over Fang attack against Naruto. Naruto would throw one good punch with his fist covered in nen, using his enhancer type, as he then punches Kiba, sending him flying back into the wall, knocking him out in one shot. Naruto would then blow on his hand as it looks like steam's coming off from the amount of speed that Kiba was going at him, as dust particles now flow in a big cloud of smoke around the area. Naruto would get back up and help Kiba up, telling him he's sorry about putting so much into it. As he then gets back, Hinata would offer some cream to Naruto to help with his wounds. Naruto would thank Hinata as he takes it, with Kurenai as well as Kakashi laughing. Hinata would blush and say it was no problem, as Naruto hands back her ointment. Suddenly, it'd be Sasuke's turn to fight, and Sasuke is struggling. With the curse mark power that he has been given, he can't control his chakra that well anymore, especially now because the stupid curse mark's getting in the way. As Sasuke battles against the other sound ninja who had gotten in, he would be struggling, but he would take victory just like he did in the original. Now, it's time. Rock Lee and Gaara's fight would take place, and in this version, the slaughter of Gaara taking out Rock Lee is way worse. As Gaara has Nen, which is a more potent version of chakra, immediately as his Nen power would take over, he would use his own manipulator power of Nen to manipulate all the sand in the area, as this Nen beast would form. The sand would charge towards Lee, taking shape of a lion, as it roars, taking a claw towards Lee. Lee's speed in this, as he's now unlocked the three of the 8 inner gates, would attack Gaara with his same speed and ferocity from the original. Gaara would still have the same amount of bloodlust that he has at this point, however, and so, when he begins to tap more into the power of the Tanuki, which is his One-Tails, he then would have enough power to take Lee out, as well as crush his leg just like in the original. As he's about to crush Rock Lee's leg, however, Naruto would yell for them to stop the fight, as he can see what he's about to do. As Guy tries to make it there in time, he already crushed Lee's leg, though, before Guy could make it. Naruto would be in shock, as he had almost staved Lee's leg. Lee would thank Naruto for the attempt at helping, but he wouldn't have made it there in time. Lee, who would now be in critical injury, would be taken to the health department as well to see if he'd be fine from the medical ninja there. Naruto would look at Gaara with rage, as he tells him he didn't have to do that and he had already won the fight. Gaara would smirk as he tells Naruto to prove it to him. Naruto's Nen would flare up, as he had been keeping it under control for then. However, Gaara could see it and he says, "Oh, I guess I made you mad." Naruto would tell Kakashi-sensei he's going to beat the crud out of Gaara next time that they fight. Naruto would then watch as Neji and Hinata's turn comes up to fight. As Neji and Hinata are fighting, it's becoming clear from every attack, every punch, and every type of fist that they're using against each other using the gentle fist style, that Neji will win. As Neji's going more ferocious against Hinata, Naruto has a small flashback, or a flash a few minutes ago, to when Lee was getting his leg crushed. This time, he wasn't going to stay back. As Neji's about to throw his final blow, he can see it in Hinata's eyes that she needs help. Hinata had been doing it all to show Naruto that she had her own ninja way, and would help just like Naruto did when he never gave up. "It's enough, Hinata," Naruto would say, as he then jumps into the battle, kicking off of the railing faster than anyone could see. As the final hit is about to hit Hinata, Naruto uses one finger as he covers it with all of his Nen, concentrating it into a small point, as he blocks Neji's own attack with one finger. He would then tell him that Hinata's down, as Hinata falls to the ground, passing out. And then he would say that several of her organs were damaged from the attack, as he had been watching using Gyo, which is, at this point, Naruto, with his purity, is able to see almost as good as the Byakugan. Lee would look into Naruto's eyes as the two would meet, having a tense second, as Neji would stop his attack, telling Naruto that was reckless of him to intervene in the fight. Kakashi would tell Naruto to get back up here, as Naruto would jump back to the second floor, telling Kakashi he's sorry, but he didn't want to let another friend down. As Naruto would leave the arena that day, having won the second phase of the Chunin exams, Sasuke would have had his curse mark sealed. As Naruto leaves, Kakashi and Sasuke would say goodbye to him as he's sent away, as both Kakashi and Sasuke head to the mountains to do their training for the next month. Naruto would decide on what he wants to do. He thinks doing more of that meditating might be helpful. However, as Naruto's walking along the main leaf road, he would see a man who's old with a red cloak around him and some sort of scroll on his back. "I'm Jiraiya the Toad Sage," Jiraiya would say as he's hitting on the girls there. Naruto would pat him on the back and ask him if he's doing alright, after seeing what he does with his own ninjutsu prowess. As we now see, Naruto decides that he's going to train under this pervy sage. Jiraiya would introduce himself, as Naruto would as well. "My name, it's Naruto Uzumaki." Jiraiya would look up, thinking, "Naruto, huh?" If you guys want to see the next part for What If Naruto Had Nen, part 4, then make sure to show support for this series. The next video that'll be coming out will be What If Asta was in Fairy Tail, the newest part for that. Hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see all of you guys later. Bye.